Hey, so I want to have kind of a big sister, probably even auntie conversation now. And that's mostly because I feel like when you're over 40, you have a lot more confidence. Now, I can't speak for all the women over 40, but I can say that 20s, I've learned your 20s are for the mistakes you're going to make in this life, and you're going to make mistakes. Our 20s should be wrapped up in us having problems, finding solutions maybe, and if we don't find the solutions yet, we'll find them in our 30s. This is where people convince you that you have to be in a relationship, you have to have a boyfriend, you should want to get married, you should want to have a baby, you should want to do all of the things that are going to take the focus off of you. All of the things that are going to take the focus off of you. That's what usually happens in your 20s. And your girlfriends are convincing you to run behind a guy. Some guy is convincing you that he's the priority in your life. And that's that's a terrible thing because if you're making him the focus of your life, there's no one focused on you. And he's not focused on himself because now you're focused on him. So he's not actually growing in the way that he could and he should because you're absolving him of a lot of accountability and responsibility. You're taking things on as if you're like his mom. I want to be irreplaceable. I want to be his everything, but you're not even your everything to you yet. So there's this disconnect that happens with all of us. I mean, maybe not all of us. Maybe some people got it really right. Maybe there were some people that were in their 20s and they just had everything right and figured it out and now they're in their 30s or 40s or even 50s and life is just great. But that's not common. That's not all of us. It's not the majority of us. I'm sure there's a minority out there somewhere, but this is for the majority of folks. It's 20s are for your mistakes. 30s are to fix the mistakes. 40s are where you're coasting more. People think that women are like, oh, when you're over 40, it's all dead and downhill from there. You got to be you're the best version of yourself when you're a woman in your 20s. No, you're not. No, you're not. Yes, your breast might be more bouncy, booty might be perky, but if you exercise, all of those things work too. Take your collagen, your biotin, those things work too. It's a very superficial thing there. Because in your 20s, there's a lot of internal insecurity, a lot of low self esteem, a lot of unsure. You don't know if you like intimacy yet. Sexuality is a little, you don't really know yet because you're taught that sexuality is the thing and not sensuality. We're not taught the understanding of sensuality. Being sensual and being sexual are two different things. You can be a woman and have allure without being highly sexual. And so there's a lot of confusion. And instead of people beating up on the young women, getting upset about all the breast out, all the booty, all the thighs, instead of getting upset about that, how about you talk to women and find out either, okay, that's how they want to dress. That's their thing. We also have to understand that although we can all dress and behave in whatever way we want to dress and behave, we are walking advertisements for who we are as people. And so as we're walking around advertising to the world that this is who I am, what they see is what we are. That's how they think. Perception, people think it doesn't matter, but perception does matter. People go to prison behind perception. So it does matter. And we can't say that people don't judge books by their cover. Yes, they do. That's why the covers are so beautiful. That's what gets your attention when you go into Barnes and Noble or to any bookstore or when you're in the TikTok shop looking for books. You're looking at the cover and you're thinking, "Oh, that seems like a good book." That's how people move with people. So we see things. Men are visual creatures by nature. And so they see something, they want something. They're looking to see if what they're looking at is going to give them the desired outcome for what they want. And women are usually looking at men for the same reason. So we can't get upset with the fellas if the fellas are like, oh, well, I saw her and this is my perception of her. So this is how I'm going to approach her. And this is how serious I'm going to take this situation with her because of how I perceive her. Women do the same thing. They think that they see a guy and based off what he looks like or what he's driving or what he's wearing or whatever, they assume what they think might be good or bad about him. When the truth is, no one really knows anything about either one. But we're not taught how to interact with each other. But more than anything, we're not taught how to interact with ourselves. We have to understand that these levels are happening because of growth. We make this assumption that because we turn 18 years old, I'm a grown woman. No, you're not. No, you're not. Being a grown woman comes with experience, comes with wisdom. It comes with the myriad of mistakes that we're going to make. We're going to choose the wrong guy. The wrong guy is going to choose us. We're going to want to be everything and anything all the time for this guy. We're going to choose to be in a relationship over pursuing a career. Not a bad thing. These are just choices. But we don't have enough foundational skills about how to get to know us, understanding, okay, what is intimacy? What is sensuality? How do I become a grown woman? What does that look like and feel like? How do I create a plan for what I want in this world? How do I have what we consider having it all at some point? It is very difficult to have it all in your 20s, even in your 30s sometimes, because there's this expectation of what should happen with you. And we don't always know. Sometimes we end up chasing a guy that has never even chased himself. Sometimes women get so consumed with the boy that she's losing parts of herself. Yeah, she might have a great job. She might have a nice house. She might even have a nice car and a fat bank account. But her heart is broken. Her mind is scrambled. Her soul is not at rest. So she doesn't have safety within herself. So she's fine with being with a man that's not providing her safety, and she'll just take whatever he's offering because, oh, he bought me something pretty, or he said something nice to me, and that's going to be enough. When the majority of what he's doing with you is ignoring you. The majority of what he's doing is trying to prioritize what he has going on, and not because he might think you're fantastic, but you're not better than where he's trying to go. And so sometimes we have to understand that as women, we need to help each other out. We need to love on each other. We need to talk to each other more so that we can be our best version, so that when we're going into these relationships, we're going in as whole people instead of getting in relationships with men who are teaching us who we are when they don't know who they are. Or they're teaching us who they want us to be based off of a narrative that they've seen on television, or they've heard on or seen on social media, or something they've seen in their family. But you can't make someone what you want them to be. We are human beings having a human experience. We have to learn how to have grace with one another. But we also have to learn that these men are not our fathers and we are not their mothers. Stop coddling one another. We have to gain some perspective for ourselves, accountability, responsibility. We have to learn ourselves. Talk to other women, ladies. Men, talk to other men. Start talking to one another about the things that make our this is gender specific because our biology is wrapped up in here. Our hormones are wrapped up in here. And our hormones make us feel things that we otherwise wouldn't feel if we had them fully under control. And in the 20s and 30s, it's a little difficult to really control your hormones for both the men and the women, especially if you don't know that's what's happening. It's very difficult to get wrapped up in it. So I feel like at this point here, there's a no flyer age than being over 40. Honestly, I think when you turn 40, and again, not for everybody, but when I was in my 30s, I was ready to turn 40. I was so excited about it. And my smile is different. My confidence is different. I'm not looking for someone else to fulfill me, to make me whole. I'm not looking to be mad at anyone. I'm not looking to challenge anyone about anything. A man comes into my life, he's a whole one. I come into his life, I'm a whole one. This is not to say that we don't have things that we're going to go through as time goes on. But it is to say that at this stage, it's not my past trauma making decisions for my current life. Everything that happened already. And so we just have to be kinder to one another. Our society says that the priority needs to be that we want more boys, we want more men, and that women aren't as important. But we are, ladies. We are. We are very important. I love you. You guys should love each other. The kinder we are with one another, the more gentle we are, the more soulful, the more spirited we are with one another, the better life is. And the better we are in relationships, we can speak on what we're missing. We can speak on what we need. And that emotional safety we're creating for ourselves will create emotional safety with men too. And when we're in our relationships, they'll feel more free to come to us and speak with us because our emotions are stable and they're balanced. And we need to be stable and balanced because we deserve that. We deserve the soft life. This is that soft feminine lifestyle that we're looking for. This is soft life. All right, ladies. All right, fellas. Everyone involved that have watched this video, I love you guys. Please enjoy. I do think I'm going to talk more about the over 40 and the 20s and 30s because each one teach one. All right. Bye, guys.